You're probably not gonna like what I have to say, but I'm gonna say it anyways. And worst of all, I'm not even gonna hold your hand when I say this. But businesses still open on rainy days. Hey doll, welcome back to Faith Lately, your faith-filled girl talk podcast where girl talk meets God. As I said in my intro, businesses still open on rainy days. So let me reel it back and give you some context for what had me thinking about this for today's episode. So the other week, I went to a cafe that I always go to because I needed Wi-Fi, child. But it was storming that day. That week when it was storms and rains and misery in Cape Town, it was storming, it was raining, it was a crazy day. But I went to that cafe and it was open. And as I went into that cafe, I thought to myself, wow, businesses still open on rainy days. And that had me thinking, that's probably why a lot of us are not where we want to be in life. It's probably a reason why a lot of us feel stuck. It's because we don't open on rainy days. And basically today's episode, I just wanted to encourage you to do the things you know you gotta do even when you don't feel like it. We really need to put our emotions to the side. And as a very emotional, sensitive, always coddling and catering to my feelings kind of girl, trust me girl, I get it. There are those days you're gonna wake up, you don't feel like doing something. We're gonna have our period week, we're gonna have cramps and stuff, we don't feel like doing anything. We're just gonna wake up and be sad for no reason, wake up on the wrong side of the bed and not feel like doing anything. But we really need to take our feelings off the pedestal, okay? Because otherwise we are not going to achieve the dreams and big lives that we envision for ourselves. We really need to stop treating our goals as negotiable and start treating them as a non-negotiable. No matter how you feel, no matter your mood, no matter sometimes even whether you're sick or not, you wake up and you go to work. You go to work every day and you work for 8 hours every single day. Maybe your output might not be the same every single day depending on how you feel and where you are physically and mentally, etc. But regardless, you put in that work every day. You never wake up and say to your boss, sorry doll, I'm just not up for it today, or I just don't feel in the mood. You never skip your deadlines, you never not deliver work on time, you never deliver bad quality work. So why do we do that with our dreams, goals, and aspirations? Why do we treat those like they're negotiable? The only way we're going to move forward is if we treat those things like they are non-negotiable. You need to start treating your dreams, your goals, your aspirations like your 9 to 5, babe. You got to show up for them whether you feel like it or not. Every single day, you need to put in that work. Whether the output of work looks the same every day, whether you're doing 1 video a day, maybe some days you have energy for 3 videos, but regardless, you have to be consistent. I am yet to see a business that doesn't open on a rainy day. In fact, sometimes they'll even say closed on account to weather, but please come inside. The door may be closed, but they are still working. They're still inviting people inside. So we have to treat our goals, our dreams, our aspirations the exact same way and show up for them every single day, whether it's a rainy day or not. Because the harsh truth is that nobody cares, number one, that it's a rainy day in your life. Nobody cares that you just got heartbroken. Nobody cares that you feel sad, that you're broke. Nobody cares about what's happening in your personal life. Like, unfortunately, nobody owes us anything. Nobody owes us our dreams. Nobody owes us an opportunity. Nobody owes us anything. We're not entitled to anything. And quite frankly, people do not care about what is happening in your personal life when it pertains to business. People just care about their bottom line and what value you can add to their bottom line. They're not going to say, oh, she's probably inconsistent because she's been having bad days. Oh, she's probably inconsistent because she's heartbroken. But let's just put her on this campaign anyways, just as a favor. Nobody is saying that. In fact, people are not privy to your personal life. Nobody is actually privy to what is going on in your life that is causing you to not be consistent or to not show up for your goals the way you know you should be. So in their eyes, you're just inconsistent. In their eyes, you're just not reliable. In their eyes, you're just not someone they can depend on. Like, they don't know what has been happening, what is going to happen that you're anxious about. From the surface, you just look like someone that isn't serious about their work. And that's just the unfortunate reality of life. And I'm a big advocate for, giving yourself grace, for being kind to yourself, loving yourself. I do believe that there has to be a balance, but there also has to be an understanding that you're the only person that can do that for you, because you know and have the context of the things that are happening in your life. But other people don't. So they're not just going to be like, oh, it's probably because of XYZ that she's like this. No, in their eyes, you're just inconsistent, you're late, you just don't show up, and you're unreliable. And we really just have to work on showing up for our dreams, goals, aspirations, our businesses every single day. We got to treat it like that 9 to 5. We got to open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or whatever your working hours are on the dream that you're building. But you got to show up every single day, doll. Like, there are no rainy days in business. Another problem with putting your emotions on a pedestal is just imagine all of the opportunities that you're missing out on. Like, I went to that cafe that day, and I wasn't the only person who went to the cafe. Had they closed, they would have missed out on an opportunity to make money. They would have missed out on an opportunity to maybe get content from a content creator for free. They would have missed out on opportunities because they were closed. So just imagine what opportunities you might be throwing away because you are treating your business like a negotiable thing. Imagine every day that you don't show up, what opportunities you're missing. You don't know who's looking for someone exactly like you. You don't know who's looking for what you are selling. You don't know who needs a business like yours, and you're just not showing up for them. You're just not showing up for those opportunities. So we also need to think about the opportunity cost of inconsistency, and we need to think about the opportunity cost of putting our emotions above our vision, dreams, and goals. I don't think there's a successful person who only did things when they felt like doing them. I'm pretty sure that there were days they did not feel like getting up. There were days they did not feel like putting in the work, but they still put in the work. There were days they felt like giving up, but they still kept pushing. And if you work a regular 9 to 5, just think of your boss. Like, is your boss ever like, I don't really feel like opening the company today? That probably hasn't happened, because they understand the importance of being consistent, showing up, and working every single day. So the same kind of like honor and respect that you give your day job is the same kind of honor and respect you should give yourself to the dreams that you are trying to achieve. It is not less important than the day-to-day things that you need to do, and you need to evaluate with yourself how badly you want something, how much you actually value it, to show up for it every single day. If you don't want it bad enough, all good and well, like, show up when you feel like it, be consistent when you feel like it, but you can't say that you really value something and you want something to work and you have this big dream and you're not showing up for it every day. Every day you need to ask yourself, what have I done today to move me closer to the person that I want to be tomorrow? Even on rainy days, you can ask yourself, what is the least, smallest, bare minimum thing that I can do today that is going to help me get closer to my tomorrow? As I said, consistency is different on a day-to-day. Not every day is going to be the same output, but every day there has to be some form of output, even if it's as small as just making a thumbnail. For example, if you're a content creator, what is the smallest thing that you can do on a rainy day that will still move you forward? And in doing that, you start to show up every day, and you start to see yourself as someone who shows up for your dreams every single day. You start practicing the identity of the person that you are trying to become, this business owner, this content creator, this top person in corporate. You start practicing that identity. Something I saw that really stuck with me is that somebody said that you should never allow yourself to skip something twice. So like, for example, if you're trying to go to the gym and you skip a day at the gym, all good and well, but don't ever skip like twice in a row, because then you're starting to practice being the person that skips gym, and that's just the similar mindset we should take into things. Let's rather focus on practicing being the person that we want to become by showing up like that person every single day, and by all means trying our best not to go consecutive days with skipping that thing. And once you get into the habit of something, it literally becomes a habit. It becomes like second nature. And there's no better way to like fast forward your dreams than to get into habits and systems that help you get closer to that dream. When you can do something on autopilot, it's going to be so smooth for you. Like, for example, if you're a content creator and you're trying to post one video a day, in the beginning, it's going to be really difficult. But then as you keep showing up as that person who posts every day, who shows up for their audience every day, it starts to become a little bit easier. You figure out the systems that work for you. You get to edit faster. You figure out what works, what doesn't work. You know, you fail faster, and in failing faster, you learn faster. You optimize quicker. You strategize. Like, there's just so much value in consistency and so much value in showing up every day. And that's probably for another episode. But one thing I want you to take away from this episode is that please still show up on your rainy days. Please treat your goals, your dreams, your aspirations as a non-negotiable. Treat them like your 9 to 5, where no matter how you're feeling, you're going to show up and put in that work. And I promise you, in due time, you will reap the rewards. Even right now, I don't feel like recording this podcast episode. So much so that I did not even record it on the day I was supposed to record it, which was yesterday. And now I'm having to play catch up with myself because I don't feel like recording this podcast today. But I know that I need to in order to get to where I want to go. I know that my business needs to open every day in order for me to go where I want to go. And I can have 1,000,001 excuses why it's so difficult for me to record this right now. In fact, I'm even recording this without my microphone because I could not find it. But I said, you know what? Come rain, come shine, I am putting out an episode this week. And Shem, I've been consistent over the weeks and it has not been easy. I do not want to lie to you. It has not been easy. But in me showing up as this person who puts out an episode every week, I can't not put out an episode. It's like now I just see myself as that person who does that, and I always find myself making a plan to make it work as opposed to consoling myself as to why it's not going to work. And you know, I gotta leave you with the verse before I go. And the verse that I thought about for this episode is Ecclesiastes 9 verse 10, which says, "Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. For in the realm of the dead where you are going, there is neither working, nor planning, nor knowledge, nor wisdom." So whatever your hands find to do it with all your might while you can still do it. Because there will come a time when you can't do it no more. So now while you can, do it. And the other verse that speaks about like, whatever work you do, do it as if you're doing it for the Lord. Imagine Jesus was your customer. Imagine the good Lord was your customer and he came to your business and you were closed. Imagine Jesus had a brand and he was looking for a content creator and he came across your page and you hadn't posted in weeks. Imagine God was the CEO of a company and he wanted to hire a director and he looked at your work performance and saw that you have not been performing. Just imagine that. So do whatever you're doing as unto the Lord. Do it with all your might while you still have time to do it, and ensure that you're showing up for yourself every single day because you are worth showing up for. Although your business may be small, although your dream may be starting, as the Lord says, do not despise the days of small beginnings. No matter the size of the thing that you're working on, it is worth showing up for. You are worth showing up for. The audience that you have, whether 100 or 100,000, is worth showing up for. And also, it's such a good thing for you to get into a habit and into an identity while you are still in a building phase. The last thing you want is to get to this top high place that you are aiming to get to and you don't even have the characteristic to sustain that. Imagine your business blows up and now you've got 100 customers every single day, but you don't even know how to show up for 100 customers every single day. It starts with that one person. Show up for that one person, and even if that one person is you for now, show up for you every single day. So when 100 people come knocking at your door, you are the type of person that can show up for 100 people every single day. You will not be caught slacking. Okay, thank you so much for watching this episode, doll. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please make sure to subscribe to the Faith Lately Love Letters for weekly love letters from me. Just some weekly wisdom, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of tea that you're not gonna hear or see anywhere else. I'd love to have you a part of my community, and please make sure to share this podcast with any other doll that just needs help navigating life and faith lately. And I will see you in my next episode. Bye.